I'm Emma at the Jackson County Public Library. Welcome to Stretchy Tales Yoga. Today I'm doing yoga outside because our animal theme is backyard animals. So these are the animals that you might see walking around in the park or your yard or in the woods, but that you're not going to find in the zoo. I'm going to do my yoga flow out in the backyard, and you can too. But you can also do this inside. We're on a comfortable place on the floor. And you'll also need some comfortable clothes to wear and your energy and imagination. And all you have to do is follow along with me and breathe. And don't do anything that doesn't feel good to you. So let's start off with our warm-up song. Are you ready? Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows to the front, put the elbows in the back, put your elbows to the side and quack, 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 quack. Oh my goodness, are we ducks? Well, sometimes ducks are animals that you can see outside. What do you think we will do for duck pose? Well, let's get down onto our hands and knees. In yoga, there's a pose called crow pose. And that could be duck pose too, as long as we quack. So, for duck pose, I'm going to go from my hands and knees onto my feet like this. I'm resting on my feet with my hands in front of me. Now, what you'll do is lift your hips up and then tilt forward and see if you can rest your knees on your elbows like this. This is duck pose, but you can also tilt even farther forward and lift your feet. It's okay if you're only lifting one of your feet, or if both of them are still on the ground. You're still doing the pose. Quack, quack, quack. Good job. It's kind of intense for a first pose. I think now it's time to do our sun salutes. And since we're outside, we can actually say hello to the sun. There it is. All right, so we start off standing. Now reach your arms up as far as they go. Hello, sun. Bend forward and reach them down. Hello, grass. And lift halfway up. And we'll go back down and lower all the way onto our stomach. Pop your chest back up. And then pop your hips up. Look behind you. Everything's upside down. Now we'll lower our knees down to the mat and come into our seat. You guys, there are so many bugs. I didn't think there would be this many bugs. Well, I think it's time for us to do our song cube. Just like we've done before, I'm going to roll the cube, and what animal it lands on, we're going to do a yoga pose and a song. Ant. I bet you guys know a song about ants, don't you? Ready? The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. What are we doing? We need to be marching like ants. All right, let's go into ant pose. And so this, we'll get onto all fours. And then from here, I'm going to straighten my right leg and lift it up. Now I'm going to lift my left arm, the opposite arm, out straight in front of me so I look like this. And I'll put them down and do the other side. And this is how we'll march. The Ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. The little ones stopped to have some fun. And they all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, boom. It's kind of tiring. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two. The little one stopped to tie his shoe, and they all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, boom. If you want, you can pause the video right now and do the ants go marching all the way till 5 or 10 for a really good workout. But we have a lot of yoga to get through, so we're gonna stop there. If you're out in the grass where there's ants, you might also see some worms. Yuck! Well, can you think of a worm pose? I can. And this is what we'll do. Just lay it all on your stomach. Now you're a worm. You can wiggle or poke your head up like a worm poking out of the dirt. I know a song about a worm. His name is Herman, and we're going to sing it right now. I was sitting on my front porch chewing my bubble gum, playing with my yo-yo, woo, woo! It's a yo-yo. When along came Herman the worm, and he was this big. And I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I swallowed a butterfly. Well, we better do butterfly pose. And for that, all we have to do is sit with our soles of our feet touching and flap the wings. I was sitting on my front porch chewing my bubble gum, playing with my yo-yo, woo, woo! When along came Herman the worm, and he was this big. It's a pretty big worm. And I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I swallowed a turtle. Well, now we can do tortoise pose. So from here, I'm gonna straighten my legs out wide like this, and then I'm gonna fold forward as far as I can, but then lift my knees a little bit and tuck my arms under, going behind my knees, like this. And see how low you can get. This is turtle pose. I was sitting on my front porch chewing my bubble gum, playing with my yo-yo, woo, woo! When along came Herman the worm, and he was this big. And I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I swallowed a rabbit. Now we'll do rabbit pose. So get onto all fours and curl up into a little ball like this, but then we'll grab onto our heels and raise our hips up while we keep the tips of our heads on the ground. This is rabbit pose. I was sitting on my front porch chewing my bubble gum, playing with my yo-yo, woo, woo! When along came Herman the worm, and he was this big. I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I swallowed a deer. Now we'll do deer pose. So for this, we'll get onto all fours, kick our legs back, kick one forward, and then we can raise up like this. Now we're deer, and these are our antlers. I was sitting on my front porch chewing my bubble gum, playing with my yo-yo, woo, woo! When along came Herman the worm, and he was this big. He's tiny again. And I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I burped. Whew, if you ate as much as Herman the worm, you might want to do some yoga the next day. I think it's time for us to do our yoga flow. So we're going to start off in that little curled up pose that we just did. And today that is ladybug pose. You can find a lot of ladybugs in the garden at this time of year. And you can also find a lot of ants. So we'll go into ant pose like we were just doing. An ant is one of the smallest animals you'll see in the yard, and one of the biggest is a deer. And we just learned that pose too. So I'll bring my right foot forward into a lunge, and it's okay if you want to scooch it forward with your hand. And then I'll raise up into deer pose, and these are my two antlers. From deer pose, we can come into dragonfly. And this is what we'll do. I'm gonna scooch my foot in the back a little bit forward and then lean forward to put all my weight on my right foot. And then my leg is behind me and my arms are to the sides. I'm balancing and I look like a dragonfly. This is dragonfly pose. Come back down. And now we're going to do all of that again on the other side. So I'll go into worm and then lift back up into ant pose. Okay, now I'll bring my left foot forward into a lunge and then raise up for deer. And then scooch forward, forward, so that you can tilt over into dragonfly. Ooh, it's harder on this leg. All right, put your leg down and surround. As you can see, I'm surrounded by trees, so I think I'll do tree pose. Now I'll put all my weight into my left leg and lift my right leg up, and maybe I'm here, or here, or here. Tree pose. Okay, we'll do tree on the other side. I have a lot of trees in my yard, and I also have a lot of spiders. So for spider, we're going to separate our legs a little bit and crouch down with our hands out in front of us. Spider pose. And from here you can go right into duck. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see we did duck at the beginning. From spider, I'll kind of stand up, then lean forward to put my knees and my elbows. Quack, 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 quack. Whoop, back down. We'll try that again. And remember, it's okay if you're keeping your feet on the ground, or lift one foot or both. Woo! And then I'll sit down. Whoop. But again, I'll turn to the front. From duck, sit back down onto your bottoms And spread your legs wide into butterfly. And just like we did before, we'll go into turtle. One leg wide, now the other. And then these arms go underneath. I'm not sure why this is turtle. Maybe because if I'm all the way down on my stomach, I'll look kind of like a turtle shell. All right. Release your arms. Then we'll get back onto our hands and knees. Ant pose. If you have a garden with a lot of trees and a lot of birds, you might also have some bird houses. So we'll go into birdhouse pose. I'm gonna tuck my toes, raise my knees off the mat, and straighten my legs with my hips back. So I'm a triangle, like a little birdhouse. Maybe one bird that you'll see is a pigeon. For pigeon pose, I'm gonna kick my right leg up and then bring it through my hands onto the ground with my knee pointed forward. And you can be lifted up like this. Pigeon pose. If you're a fancy pigeon, you can reach behind you and grab your leg. Okay. Now lift back up into bird feeder. And now we'll do pigeon on the other side with my left leg up. My knee is pointed forward. And then my other leg is pointed straight behind me. Fancy pigeon. Now we'll lift back up into birdhouse one more time. And lower your knees down, and we're going to go into rabbit like we did. So we'll grab the heels, keep the tip of my head on the ground, and lift my hips up. And after rabbit, we'll go back into ladybug. Great job, guys! That's it for our Stretchy Tales Yoga. So now we'll sing our goodbye song. See you later, alligator, in a wild crocodile. Toodaloo, kangaroo, hit the road, little toad. Gotta go, buffalo, see you soon, raccoon. Bye-bye, butterfly, adios, hippos. Bye, everybody.